Today, Mom's going to show us how to make one of our favorite pies, the coconut cream pie, and she's going to top it with a toasted coconut meringue. Let's get started.
Coconut cream pie is one of our favorite go-to desserts whenever we just can't think of anything else we want to eat. It's either coconut cream or chocolate cream pie. And today I'm going to show you how I make my coconut cream pie. Now, to begin with, I have taken 3 eggs and I have separated the yolk from the whites. And in this beater, I have put the 3 egg whites, and I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And I'm going to begin beating that until it begins to be kind of frothy. And then I'm going to begin to add 1/3 cup of sugar. Okay, it is beginning to get kind of foamy, you can see. And I'm going to add 1/8 teaspoon of salt to that. And then gradually begin to add my 1/3 cup of sugar. Now, if the egg whites are room temperature when you do this, it doesn't take as long to beat them as if they're cold and right out of the refrigerator. You can see it's beginning to thicken up just a little bit. I'm going to now turn it on high and beat it until the egg whites will hold a peak. Okay, and now I have just about got it where I want it. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, you can leave the vanilla out if you want to, but I like it just because it adds just a little more flavor to the meringue. Okay, you can see that it's beginning to hold its shape well. I'm going to check it to see. And it holds that peak. You can see it's holding on to there. And we are now ready to make the filling. Okay, since we're using coconut in this pie, you do not use quite as much sugar. So I've got about 2/3 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoonfuls of cornstarch, and 1/4 cup of plain all-purpose flour. And I'm just going to kind of mix that together here in my pan. Okay, that will make the cornstarch and the flour dissolve easier in the cold milk. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of milk. Right after I add 1/4 teaspoonful of salt. Okay, 3 cups of milk. Okay, and then I'm going to stir that up good. Let it dissolve just a little bit. Now, if you notice, I have not turned the burner on yet to get heat underneath it. I want that flour and cornstarch to be thoroughly melted and incorporated into the milk. That keeps out a lot of lumps, which keeps out a lot of headaches later on. Okay, I'm now going to turn my heat on to a medium, and I'm going to stir gradually as that begins to come to a low boil. And a low boil is when there's just a few bubbles around the edge and not any great big bubbles in the center. Okay, you can see just a little foam there with just a few little bubbles right around the edges. And it's beginning to thicken just a little bit. You can kind of see some little areas there that looks like it's beginning to thicken in there. Take a couple of big tablespoonfuls, maybe 3. Put them in your egg mixture. Beat them eggs up. And then put that back into the hot liquid. If you just put the eggs in there, there's a chance that those eggs will cook and become stringy. By doing it this way, you don't have to have any stringy eggs in your sauce there. Okay, it's beginning to thicken up, and you can see it's come to a good boil. We're going to take that off of the heat. Turn my heat off. And to that, I'm going to add 1 generous helping of coconut, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, mix that in. To make it really smooth and creamy, you're going to need 2 tablespoonfuls of butter. And I use real butter. A lot of people may use margarine or something else, but the real butter seems like that it does best. Okay. We're going to put this into our pre-baked pie crust. And one thing I like about this recipe is with the 3 cups of milk, it fills your pie crust up. Even that out just a little bit on the top. And while it is still warm, we're going to add our whipped egg white. And I'm just going to put all of it right in the center. And then begin to spread it out to where that it goes clear to the crust. And you want it to be thick enough there to where that it covers up and gets right to the edge of the crust. Okay, I have spread that over my pie, and now I have toasted some coconut, and I'm going to just sprinkle that on the top. To toast coconut, you put your oven on 475, spread your coconut out in an even layer, leave it in there for about 10, maybe 12 minutes. You want it on the middle rack of your oven. Toasted coconut just has a different taste. It makes a big difference. Alright, now I'm going to put that back in the oven for about 10 minutes. Okay, it has been 10 minutes. I'm going to check on that, make sure that it's like we want it, and I believe it is. It's well set. Alright, now we need to let this set about 30 minutes, and then we're going to cut into that and eat pie.